Welcome back. It's science time. I'm your host, Boston PhD. Joining me as always is Dr. Moon.
Howdy.
We're here to talk about Spirit Hunter's Infinite Horde. Figure out where this is going to go in our giant list of the best roguelikes of all time.
Definitive list. Thank you very much.
Infallible. Cannot be proven wrong. We figured that out with science. How can science be wrong?
Yep.
We're going to talk a little bit about our final thoughts here for Spirit Hunter's Infinite Horde and answer our question we always ask, which is, are we going to continue to play this game? And then we'll fit it here in the list of the best roguelikes. Moon, why don't you start us off with your final thoughts here and answering the big question?
Well, the first big question that we forgot to ask was, what are we doing next? But we'll figure that out in post, I guess.
Hey, that's a good question. We certainly didn't forget to pick another game.
Nope, we did not. Totally not an issue.
Yeah, don't forget our next game is insert game name here.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to playing insert game name here on insert platform here.
That's right.
I don't know. It was a game that came about at the right time with the right vibes, with the right checks.
Yeah.
Which is to say, I genuinely enjoy this game. My issue, especially as the science progresses, is I don't know how good it is.
Okay.
Like, don't remember, it has some fantastic things, but it's not Vampire Survivors. Let's get that out the way right now. We're not going to have a Vampire Survivors ranking where we're just like, yo, it's number 2, right? And then we just stop recording.
Right. I think for me, in the list of bullet heavens, I think it hangs with Vampire Survivors, saying like, hey, if you liked either one of these, you're gonna like the other one.
Yes. I just don't think it's as good, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I do like the fact that it has permanent meta progression, essentially, like a lot more permanent meta progression than Vampire Survivors does. The art style is fine.
Yeah.
This is something that a friend of the show, Rob, pointed out to me, and I hated him ever since for it. It has mobile game vibes to it. Like, it very much has cell phone vibes to it. Like, the zoom in level, everything about it feels like it's meant to be on a tablet or on a phone screen rather than on a big television. It's helped by the fact that every time the loading screen pops up, I don't know if it does this on your version, but on my version, it shrinks it to a much smaller,
oh, really?
box. So, the loading thing that's in the bottom right corner suddenly goes to the middle bottom right corner,
oh,
at the middle of the
interesting.
screen. And then it pops back out and it's back in full screen again. But it's you were changing resolutions there, trying to figure out exactly what I'm playing on.
Right, interesting.
And it's not a negative because it doesn't affect how the game plays at all.
Sure.
I will say it has some difficulty spikes, some really sharp difficulty spikes. I'm at the process now where I'm just trying to fill out the stupid web, and trying to fill out the stupid web is resulting in me needing to do very specific runs with specific characters or specific maps.
Right.
And sometimes I struggle with them. Sometimes it's like, this level is just too hard with this character or with this challenge or with what I have, but I'm trying to unlock this one specific thing rather than just a smorgasbord of unlocks kind of thing. But it's good, it's fun, it's stupid. I think one of the things that sets Vampire Survivors apart from this, which is one of the reasons I would rate Vampire Survivors higher than this, I think, is Vampire Survivors is perfectly okay with you completely breaking that game.
Yeah.
I had a moment in Vampire Survivors where I broke the game so much that I couldn't be touched. The screen was just white explosion. It froze on a white explosion and it stayed there.
Yeah.
The timer kept ticking up and deaths kept appearing, and I had to quit the run to be able to end that run.
Right.
Kind of situation. Whereas this, it never feels like, that's ever going to happen. I'll be powerful. And sometimes
it gets close, but not to the point where it's like, well, I'm done. I don't even have to move now. I'm good.
Yeah, and part of what makes this game maybe better or worse than Vampire Survivors is there's no breaking that end thing. You hit 15 minutes and you're done. There is no secret kill the boss and move on to like the next boss and try and survive with the death kind of situation. There is no like upside down castle, for lack of a better term, in this game. It's just you do the run, you do the 15 minutes, and then you're done. You move on to the next run, or you stop playing. I probably will keep playing it because it has been very much a good. I'm just not going to think for a while. And I did 3 runs yesterday on the hard mode for the hinterlands, I think it is, because I need to kill a specific enemy. And the first 2 were trash tier runs. Like, I just did not get what I needed at all. And then the 3rd run, I got exactly what I needed real quick, and it was like, cool, I've destroyed everything. Like, It's a good game. I think it's arguably actually a great game. I just don't think... maybe it's because of the uniqueness is not the same. Because I'm pretty sure Vampire Survivors was all of our first experience with this type of game. I think the fact that it is very derivative of it, but also it does its own things, but I don't think it does it uniquely enough to set it that far apart. Like it, and it's not the game's fault. I think it is lesser because Vampire Survivors exists.
Vampire Survivors is just too good.
Yes. I like I said, I do think it's a great game. I just don't think I think it being the second one of these I played and not having that little secret sauce at the end where it's like, yeah, you can do X amount of stuff to do extra things. Or like the weird secrets the Vampire Survivor drops in, like go to this mirror and travel through the mirror to an alternate dimension to kill this thing to get this character. Like, that stuff I think is the stuff that sets Vampire Survivors apart from everything else in most genres, to be honest, let alone this specific type of genre.
The thing that I like a lot about Spirit Hunters is how much the upgrade web is, of course, kind of the standout obvious thing here. I think I think what we've seen in so many roguelikes is the meta progression can be hard to parse, where it's like, okay, I did this and I unlocked this thing. What is it? You just show me like an icon of a sword. I don't even know what that means. And this one is
the Isaac problem,
right? And it's also like, to me, famously, I think it was Dungreed, where it's like, here you go, you unlocked this thing, and it's like 2 pictures of pants and like a genie's lamp, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. But this one is this skill gets this benefit by this either number or percent or cooldown or something. It's very, very clear, and being able to see, you know, there's something to Isaac's post-it note where you're kind of filling out the symbols. But there's something to this of, oh, I really love this skill. Its second upgrade is all the way over here, but I can see the path to doing that, so I'm going to do X and Y and Z, and then I'll be able to afford that up here. So
especially with the update that we have, where it updated and showed you exactly where and what difficulty you should be playing on to do the thing you need to do.
And I also really like how each individual character is different for like how fast it moves, how much health and MP it has, what its, you know, special attack is and all that. But I also really like that each character modifies each ability separately. So it's not just
each ability you choose, the primary ability from it.
You're chosen one, which choosing at least one ability to start with is also really great. But I really like that it's not just, oh, you pick this character and all of these abilities have the same exact thing. It's, no, here's this kind of modifier on it, but all 12 versions of that modifier are a little bit different. And I like that because it increases the replayability, but it also, you feel like you're picking your favorite character for a specific reason. And
it's
I
why
think that goes a
that
long way.
first guy is a really good tutorial guy, because all of his stuff is you get kills with his primary ability and you get health.
Yep.
That's exactly what he's all about, the health.
Yeah,
And
very smart.
it makes him a great intro to the game because you're getting that health back.
Yep.
And then, you get this stupid cat lady who, like, has 0 health but huge speed. Like, that's
really
a
rough.
problem.
Yeah, so I think the thing that Spirit Hunters probably won't get enough credit for is I think it's just very tightly designed. But I think I agree with you. I think that the level of the lack of weirdness, the lack of kind of fourth wall breaking that seems to be the in this subgenre's DNA, I think because it's inspired by the weirdness of Vampire Survivors, I think this game not having that, I think, is probably going to make it an outlier.
One could argue all roguelikes have that level of weirdness, because you kind of have to be a weirdo to like a roguelike in the first place. Hello, listeners. We are one of them. Don't worry.
That's not unfair. It's like, yeah, here's this game I'm going to lose 200 times on before I get the game.
And, like, one of the arguments to be made is that roguelikes were made hugely popular by things like Binding of Isaac.
Right.
Which has an achievement called Everything is Terrible.
That's right.
And then all of the, like, completions on that, and it's just telling you how bad and how much worse things are getting.
Right.
It's like, yeah, I'm a glutton for punishment. I'll take that stuff. Why not?
Right. For me, the question is, will you keep playing it? Probably. I think I'll keep it in the list of, like, the great thing about bullet heaven games is you have X amount of time that a run is going to last. 9 times out of 10.
It's literally exactly why I've been playing this game so much over the past, like, I've hit this more than most of the other roguelikes, is because I'll look at the time and I'll be like, okay, I need to be in bed in like 20 minutes. I can fit a run in here. I can do this kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that benefits that a lot, especially for, like, I don't know what I want to play. Oh, I have an hour to sit here and do something. I can bang out a whole bunch of runs. Whether I'm making progress or not doesn't really matter. It might. I kind of wish that maybe they had a random button in this game where it just picks a character and picks one of the starter weapons. I think that might help its longevity a little bit. But as it is, I think this game is super cool and a little bit overlooked, but I don't. Hopefully, it gets a little bit more popular over time.
Yeah.
Let's figure out where this is going to sit in our list. Go ahead.
Thank you to Rob as well.
Yes, thank you
for throwing this our way. If you ever do have suggestions for this type of stuff, send it to us.
Yes, please do, because we have a ton of stuff that's in our list, but
we miss stuff. Like,
there's so many games coming out that we're not going to see all of them, especially if you're playing it and you really love it, because that's what Rob said. Hey, I picked this game up. It's super cool. And he said he was having a lot of fun with it, so thank you. Yes, thank you again. Let's figure out where this is going to sit on our giant list of roguelikes. Where do we start on this one?
23.
23. Okay. Is this better than BPM bullets per minute?
Yes.
Where's this on our list? Yes, I agree. Is Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde better than Nuclear Throne?
It's playable, so yes.
It's so... Nuclear Throne is so hard, man. God. Is Spirit Hunters better than Risk of Rain 2?
Maybe we should have started lower. Yes, because it doesn't. It has an ending. We'll put it that way.
Sure.
Every time I sit here and think, "Oh, Risk of Rain 2, that's great." Oh, wait, no, that last level, no, it's not. It's not.
Risk of Rain 2 hates you.
Yes.
Personally.
Loop. Always loop. Never finish the game. Always loop. As soon as you know how to loop.
I agree. I think that this game, the end of Spirit Hunters is hard, but I think the
DPS
ramp
checks are real, dude.
Yeah, and I think the ramp to getting to the end is way smoother. And by the time you're there, you can kind of, you know what you're getting into, and then you start the ramp back over again with a higher difficulty. That feels a lot smoother than Risk of Rain 2. I would put it above Risk of Rain 2.
Yes. Oh, really?
It's cat time. Spear Hunter's better than Cult of the Lamb.
I like Cult of the Lamb.
Yeah.
If the ironic thing is, what I'm about to say is going to probably sound mean. It's very basic in everything it does. Like it, because of what it's trying to do, it doesn't ever just like go all in on any one of its.
It's
features.
a jack of all trades.
Yes.
Yeah. Jack of two trades.
So yes, three
maybe.
Roguelike dungeon crawler.
Yeah.
I think it's better.
Yeah, I would put it above Cult of the Lamb because I just think it's a stronger. I think both of them are really well designed, and both of them have kind of similar DNA. But I think Spear Hunters is kind of better overall. Spear Hunters better than Dicey Dungeons.
Oh, I think so. I liked Dicey Dungeons, but it was not one of my favorite games. Like conceptually, that game is great, but it's 100% not for me personally. So I would put it above it.
I like Spirit Hunters for, Dicey Dungeons has a pretty clear path to progression, and complete this and you'll get this, and complete that and you'll get something at the very least. But I like how Spirit Hunters does it a lot more of do this and you'll get this specific thing. You can see the entire upgrade web from minute one, and something that turns from overwhelming immediately, where you're like, there's like 300 things on that. What? How am I ever going to unlock this? To like, oh, okay, oh, yeah,
literally
all right.
got the 400 achievement 2 days ago.
So many in there. I agree. I think Spirit Hunters is better than Dicey Dungeons. Spirit Hunters better than Has Been Heroes. Yes. Man, what Has Been Heroes is so unique. Like,
that's literally the word that was rolling around in my head, and I hate to use it, but yes, it's we haven't played a game like it since,
and probably won't.
Yeah. It's a fantastic game. Like, again, it's one of those games that like objectively is pretty solid. The problem is the combat is very JRPG combat, which I struggle with at the best of times. That's why I'm sorry, all you ATB fans. Like, I'm a 10-based guy every single time, because at least then I can think.
Right. I agree. I think it's better than Has Been Heroes. Has Been Heroes is like a must play, just for the uniqueness of it. But I think Spirit Hunters is better overall. Spirit Hunters better than Loop Hero.
Now it's time to get tough, Boston.
I think yes, because I think one of Loop Hero's... I love Loop Hero. I love almost everything about it. But I think one of the biggest weaknesses of Loop Hero is the kind of nebulous fuzziness around how to get from point A to where you want to go. So it's like, oh, I want to build a thing in town. It takes this symbol that's orange, this one that's blue, and a book? How do I get there? Where one of Spirit Hunter's biggest strengths is you need to go kill 30 of these things. It's in this level on this difficulty. Once you do that, you spend this amount of currency to go get the thing, and then you move on. Like, I think that clarity is a huge benefit.
Less puzzly, yes.
Right. Yeah. And less grindy, too, because
Loop Hero is super grindy.
Loop Hero is very... And Spirit Hunters can get grindy at the end, but that's where you grind.
Even with that whole thing in place, like, it has the currency exchange if you need to use it. And if you need to grind, you can just do it on a lower difficulty. Loop Hero doesn't really have that option.
And I think Loop Hero does have a currency conversion thing, but you get it way too late. Like Spirit Hunters gives you that really early, where you're like, why am I gonna exchange this currency? I need all of it. And when you need to, you already haven't. You're already aware of it. So
Yeah.
I think for me, Spirit Hunters goes above Loop Hero just for level of clarity alone.
I can get behind that one.
Spirit Hunters better than Genesis Alpha 1. Ooh.
Oh, I love Genesis Alpha 1.
2023 surprises.
It is a fantastic game. I think this has to, on a personal note, if I'm sitting down in front of the two, obviously depending on the situation, I will probably play Genesis Alpha 1 because I'm that kind of sicko.
Right.
But on an overall polishedness of the game,
yeah,
this has to go above it. Like, because it is a polished, complete, final product with very little tweaks or bugs needed. Like we said, we got the patch that we needed. That, like, literally told us all the information. Genesis Alpha 1 can be super clunky and difficult at times, and sometimes you get spawned into a universe and it's RNG, and you just get screwed.
Yeah. I agree.
It's great.
Genesis Alpha 1 is so good, but like, it's funny that when we recorded that season, both of us had the moment of like, man, I don't know if I want to keep playing this. It's not very good. And then it clicked, and we're just like, best game of the year, 2023 All-Star. This game's incredible. And like, you and I had that a week apart. Yeah.
But it's great. It is genuinely a great game. Like, if you haven't given it a shot, like, you should potentially give it a shot.
Yep.
But at the same time, it is a broken game. It is on my list for Alpha Protocol of the Year award. That should tell you 100%.
Ditto.
Exactly how good and broken it is.
Is a small, passionate team making a big game. Is Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde better than Enter the Gungeon? Oh boy.
This is all you, big boy.
Number one, we have a great top 20 here. I just want to throw, every time I look at this list, I was like, whew, there's a list of bangers here. Top 20, top 25 here. I don't know. This one's really tough because Enter the Gungeon, its problem even on release was that it was kind of always bursting at the seams. Like, it controls really well, it plays super well, it's very punny in kind of every turn, but as much as I love it, it's big, and it's super long, and it's super brutal, and I think you eventually get to a point where you're proficient enough to make really good progress, but that's a really tough hill to climb. And I think it's worth getting there, but you're gonna spend a long time getting there. And I think one of the strengths of Spirit Hunters is, here's this web, here's how to run. You don't really, it's not like a twitchy game. That's the benefits of a bullet heaven game, is you just move, and that's it. So these two kind of couldn't be any more different, but I think for me, Spirit Hunters goes above Enter the Gungeon because I think it has a number of years of game design under its belt, sort of past Enter the Gungeon. I think that helps it a lot.
Yeah. I'm good with it going above it.
Spear Hunter is better than Risk of Rain. I hate these choices. Yes, I think for me, because like Spelunky, I think Risk of Rain's strength is its simplicity. Like, there's a handful of levels, there's not a ton of mechanics, there's not a ton of items. Like until someone mentioned it the other day, I think it was on Reddit, someone was like, yeah, you don't pick up a new weapon in Risk of Rain, they're all passives. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good point. You're not really changing how you interact with sort of your primary interaction with enemies. It's all the secondary passive stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool, but I think that means Risk of Rain, it's a double-edged sword about how kind of simplistic it is. Ripping soundtrack, though. Always got to mention that. I think, for me, Spirit Hunters goes over Risk of Rain, because I think Spirit Hunters' game design is really tight. I think it's really, really super well designed, sort of from top to bottom.
Yeah, the lies for Risk of Rain bothered me too, but we won't go into that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. It could go above it. And I will put out right now that yes, I do believe I can go above Void Bastards, because the difficulty curve in Spirit Hunters is tough at moments, but
so hard.
It made it incompletable for me. Like I literally would spawn into a ship and then die. Like that was the most frustrating point for Void Bastards. Like, it is a great game with great execution, but if you get deep into that thing and then die, and you don't have the upgrades
Let
or the
me
weapons
finish
you need,
you.
you are in trouble.
That's right. I would agree with that. I would put it above Void Bastards too. Whoops. Spirit Hunter's better than Neon Abyss. Oh man. Neon Abyss is so good. Also, we haven't checked in on Neon Abyss in a long time. That game, it keeps getting super huge updates all the time. It's wild.
Yeah.
Oh. My knee-jerk reaction is yes. Neon Abyss
honestly, kind of the same for me.
I think Neon Abyss is really good. And it's like, Neon Abyss is always like one step away from being really great. There's always that kind of like indefinable thing that's missing with Neon Abyss. And it's great. I mean, it's number 12 on our list. It's not bad. But there's always something where it's like, man, you could be in the top 5, baby. And you're not. But I think Spirit Hunters is better than Neon Abyss. Just kind of overall. Spirit Hunter's better than Dreamscaper. Oh, Dreamscaper. Another pleasant surprise.
Yeah, another shockingly fantastic game.
Yeah. I think so for me. Dreamscaper's really good, but I think it also had those difficulty spikes that weren't necessarily bad, but I think Dreamscaper's another really interesting, unique one of, hey, let's actually tell a story in a roguelike that works somehow. I'm having a hard time explaining why I think. It's just one of those kind of gut feelings of like, yeah, I like this one better than Dreamscaper.
Oh, that's fine. Sometimes that's all you've got is your gut instinct, and honestly, I might prefer Dreamscaper above this, but also at the same time, Dreamscaper was one of those games that had a wall of difficulty. You get to a certain point, and then that game is just ridiculously difficult.
Yep. Oh boy, top 10 here. The Spirit Hunter is better than Into the Breach.
No, I think this is where it stops.
Yeah, I think that's me too. Like, just reading Into the Breach was just like, no, I think that's where you stop.
Into the Breach is arguably a perfect game. I think
it's so good.
If we were all SRPG weirdos on this show, Into the Breach might be number 1. Like,
yeah, your puzzle SRPG robot kaiju perfection.
With that fantastic soundtrack and that like great noise when you hit the drop button for the first time, like,
man, it's so good.
And you want to talk about polish? There isn't much more polished than Into the Breach on this list. Like
a puzzle game that tells you the solution. and somehow that's still really hard.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. Into the Breach is great. I agree. I don't think it's above any of the rest of those, but that means that Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde is at number 11. This is our 57th ranking episode, and you're at number 11. That's pretty good. So, go play Spirit Hunters Infinite Horde. It's on a platform you own, and it seems to run well on all of them. So, go check that out. Listen,
great.
Yeah, listen for future me coming to hit you up in a couple of minutes with what we're going to play next. Because we totally didn't forget. It was really just part of the plan the whole time.
This is a bit. We're all doing a bit right now.
That's we're all... Yep, definitely nothing wrong happened. So, check over that. Hope we'll see you all next run. Bye!
Bye!